Welcome back to Deep Roots Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Thompson, certified life coach and emotion code and body code practitioner. Today, we're talking about reclaiming your power and how most of us don't even realize how much of it we've handed away. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The world we live in is designed to keep us discouraged, afraid, addicted, numb. It seems we are being kept in a constant state of distraction and overwhelm. And guess what? When we're in that state, we are easy to control. I remember a time when I was so caught up in it. I didn't even realize how much of my life was on autopilot. I'd wake up, grab my phone without even thinking, scroll, check my emails. Not a great way to start your day. But then I'd go to work, come home, do it all over again. I wasn't living. I was just getting through the day, making choices out of fear, out of obligation, and out of exhaustion. And deep down, I kept feeling there's got to be more than this. But I was too tired, too scared, and too stuck to find that something more, which is exactly where they want us to be. It wasn't until I finally slowed down, I got still and honest with myself, that I realized I had given my power away to everything outside of me. Because the moment you return to consciousness, the moment you reconnect with your awareness, you start remembering just how powerful you actually are. And so I want to ask you, and really ask you, do most of your choices come from fear or come from power? Do you say yes because you're afraid to disappoint? Do you stay in relationships, jobs, and habits that feel safe but not aligned? Do you play it small because you're afraid of what might happen if you actually let yourself be seen? We've talked about this before, but I don't know how many people actually understand that your brain's number one job is not to keep you happy. It's to keep you alive. The part of your brain responsible for this is called the amygdala, which is your fear center. Its entire purpose is to scan for danger, real or perceived, and trigger a survival response. This is why, even when there's no threat, there's no tiger chasing you, your body can still react with anxiety, fear, or avoidance when something feels uncertain or risky. And this ties into a deeper concept called neuroplasticity. Your brain forms pathways based on repetition. The more you avoid discomfort, the more your brain wires avoidance equals safety. That's why we stay in toxic relationships, because at least we know what to expect. Stay in unfulfilling jobs because they provide security. Silence our dreams because failure feels too threatening. Your brain is hardwired to favor the familiar, even if the familiar is unhealthy, unfulfilling, or limited. This is known in psychology as the path of least resistance. The brain conserves energy by sticking to known patterns because change requires effort, uncertainty, and emotional risk. But here's the thing. You also have a prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, consciousness, and higher thinking. When you pause, when you bring awareness to your choices, you activate this part of the brain. And that's when you shift from reacting to choosing. If you really understood how powerful you are, what would you stop tolerating? What would you walk away from? What would you finally say yes to? Because you're not powerless. You've just been conditioned to believe you are. And here's the part that breaks my heart the most. Most people spend their whole lives making decisions from fear, and then they wonder why their life doesn't feel fulfilling. They fear rejection, so they never put themselves out there. They fear failure, so they never try. They fear being too much, so they shrink themselves down to be liked. Here's the thing that no one talks about. You will regret a life built on fear, because every time you let fear lead, you trade your future for your comfort. It is so important to understand this right here. Fear is not a stop sign. It's not proof that you're on the wrong path. In fact, fear is often a signal that you're standing right on the edge of your own growth. But here's what happens to most of us. We feel that fear, that tightness in our chest, those racing thoughts, and that what if I fail? And instead of leaning in, we pull back. We tell ourselves stories like, this must mean I'm not ready. This must not be the right time. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But the truth is, we've been conditioned to confuse discomfort with danger. We think if something feels hard or scary or uncertain, it must mean we're not supposed to do it. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is the doorway to becoming who you want to be. It's the space where your old identity is being stretched to make room for who you're meant to become. Think about it. Every breakthrough in your life, every time you grew, achieved something meaningful, or became stronger, it happened because you moved through the discomfort, not around it. You didn't shrink. You didn't run. You showed up scared and you kept going. And that's what I want you to hear today. Your fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you exactly where your next level lives. And every time you lean in, instead of backing down, you're reclaiming your power. One brave choice at a time. What if, instead of backing off, you lean in? What if you follow through anyway? What if you didn't wait until the fear was gone and just chose to walk with it? When you start making decisions from empowerment or a place of power instead of fear, your life will completely change. Maybe not overnight, but undeniably. You'll begin to move differently, speak differently, choose differently, and little by little, you'll remember exactly who you are. So today I leave you with this. If you realized how powerful you are, how would you live differently? Let that question move through you. Let it change you. Let it lead you back to your truth. Because you were never meant to play small. And everything that you're looking for begins with reclaiming your power. If this spoke to you, I would love to hear about it. Message me. Share this episode with someone who needs this reminder. And do this for me. Write down one fear-based decision that you've been making and ask yourself, what would I choose if I trusted my power instead? You are not here just to survive. You are here to thrive. And until next time, remember you are deeply loved and exactly where you're meant to be.